warm welcome to everyone watching out there. As you know, my name is Renee, and you're going to be watching Biblical Health. And believe it or not, God really does care about your health. In 3 John 2, we're told, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth." In Ministry of Healing, page 127, paragraph 1, it says, "Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. Pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, trust in divine power, these are the true remedies." Every person should have a knowledge of nature's remedial agencies and how to apply them. It is essential both to understand the principles involved in the treatment of the sick and to have a practical training that will enable one rightly to use this knowledge. Then in CG, page 361, paragraph 2, it says, "We should educate ourselves not only to live in harmony with the laws of health, but to teach others the better way." So that's my goal doing these videos, is to teach you a better way, which is God's way. We're also told in 11 Manuscript Release, page 187, that we should become more intelligent in regard to the laws of life. And how do we do that? Well, we do it by educating people in regards to the laws of life, which we're told in General Conference Daily Bulletin, January 30, 1893, paragraph 2. Why? Educate people in the laws of life so that they may know how to preserve health. MM 259, paragraph 3. Then in MH 128, paragraph 1, it says, "It is the duty of every person for his own sake and for the sake of humanity to inform himself in regard to the laws of life and conscientiously to obey them." 7 Testimonies 137, paragraph 1 says, "True religion and the laws of health go hand in hand. It is impossible to work for the salvation of men and women without presenting to them the need of breaking away from sinful gratifications, which destroy the health, debase the soul, and prevent divine truth from impressing the mind." Do you want divine truth to impress your mind? I sure do. In KC, page 20, paragraph 4, it says, "You are to apply the laws of life and health to your own case. In violating the laws of health, you misrepresent your Maker." Then in the Bible, in Matthew 11:28, we're told, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Psalms 127, paragraph 2 says, "It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep." So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of proper rest, or sleep, as we call it. What is sleep? Well, in Wikipedia, we're told sleep is naturally recurring state characterized by reduced or absent consciousness, relatively suspended sensory activity, and inactivity of nearly all voluntary muscles. It is distinguished from quiet wakefulness by a deceased ability to react to stimuli and is more easily reversible than being in hibernation or a coma. Sleep is a heightened anabolic state accentuating the growth and rejuvenation of the immune, nervous, skeletal, and muscular systems. So, how much sleep does a person need each day? Well, for an adult, we need 7 to 8 hours. That is very important. And for children, they need a bit more, which is about 10 hours at least. These amount of hours are essential in order for our body to rebuild itself. In the Spirit of Prophecy, it says in Adventist Home, page 289, paragraph 1, "Sleep is nature's sweet restorer." And then in Temperance 196, paragraph 2, it says, "True temperance calls for reform in sleeping." And then in Child Guidance, paragraph 2, page 363, it says, "The importance of regularity in the time for eating and sleeping should not be overlooked." Why? Well, we're told Irregular hours for eating and sleeping zap the brain forces, and that's Councils on Diet and Foods, 395, paragraph 1. And then education, page 205, paragraph 4 says sleep should be regular and abundant. Councils on Health, page 142, paragraph 2 says, if they strictly observe regularity in sleeping and in eating of simple food, taking nothing between meals, they need not be sick. We're also counseled what time to go to bed. The experts show that in order to have a good mental capabilities and in order for the natural repairing of the body to take place, a person should be in bed between 9 to 9:30 p.m. and asleep no later than 10. It is said every 1 hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours after. That's why if you go to bed, well, let's say around 8:30 and you wake up at 2:30 or 3:30 and you feel refreshed, but if you go to bed after midnight and you sleep 9 hours, you don't even sometimes feel like you got 4 hours of sleep. So the Spirit of Prophecy also tells us in 9 Manuscript Relief, page 46, make it a habit not to sit up after 9 o'clock. Every light should be extinguished. Now, there's exceptions to the rule, as there is to every rule. Like, for instance, let's say you have an emergency and you have to stay awake. Or let's say you were on your way home expecting to get home by 8:30 and your car broke down or something and you had to have it towed or change a tire and you don't get home in time. Those are exceptions, but that's not the rule. Also, the Spirit of Prophecy says that it's okay for students to stay up until 9:30. The quotes in CT, page 297, paragraph 1 says, in regulating the hours for sleep, there should be no haphazard work. Students should not form the habit of burning the midnight oil and taking the hours of the day for sleep. Correct the habit, going to bed at a seasonable hour. In our schools, the lights should be put out at 9:30. So it's better to go to bed early and get up at 3 or 4 in the morning and study than it is to stay up until midnight and study and then sleep in. So 7 Manuscript Release says sleep is worth far more before than after midnight. 2 hours of good sleep before 12 o'clock is worth more than 4 hours of after 12 o'clock. So you see, the Spirit of Prophecy is right in line with medical science and the experts and what they say. Now, as a rule, the labor of the day should not be prolonged into the evening. I have been shown that those who do this often lose much more than they gain, for their energies are exhausted and they labor on nervous excitement. They may not realize any immediate injury, but they are surely undermining their constitution. That's in Temperance, page 140, paragraph 1. So what hinders proper sleep? Number 1, turning the night into day and reading until sleeping hours. 9 Manuscript Release, paragraph 46, paragraph 1 says, this turning night into day is a wretched, health-destroying habit, and this reading much by brain workers up to the sleeping hours is very injurious to health. It calls the blood to the brain, and then there is restlessness and wakefulness, and the precious sleep, which should rest the body, does not come when desired. Another bad habit is eating before bedtime. We're told in Councils on Diet and Food, page 176, paragraph 1, and page 181, paragraph 4, in most cases, 2 meals a day are preferable to 3. Supper, when taken at an early hour, interferes with the digestion of the previous meal. When taken later, it is not itself digested before bedtime. Thus, the stomach fails of securing proper rest. The sleep is disturbed. Number 3, lack of fresh air. Ministry of Healing, page 381, paragraph 3 says, care should be taken that sleeping or waking, day or night, they breathe a pure, invigorating atmosphere. Now, here's a list of things that also hinders proper sleep. Number 1, city living, medications, a full stomach, lack of sunshine, lack of oxygen or fresh air. A Ministry of Healing says care should be taken that we breathe in pure, invigorating atmosphere, like I just read above. Stress is another one, sickness, and electrical items on during the time of sleep. Be sure to shut off all your electronic devices like your TV, your radio, alarm clock, cell phones, and computers should be off. The red light on those items can interfere with proper sleep. If you have to have an alarm clock, you can flip it upside down so that red light or blue light doesn't show while you're sleeping. Now, what happens if a person doesn't get adequate amount of sleep and they don't go to bed at a time that's considered healthful or proper? Well, an increase in accidents such as car, bus, train, or machinery operating accidents can happen. The blood sugars levels can rise up, your cholesterol can go up, your stress levels go up, your on-the-job performance can decrease, your thinking processes are hindered, you can gain weight, you can have a fast heart rate, and the list goes on. What does the latest research show about sleep? Well, the use of sleep aids among young adults has soared in the United States. Be careful of these sleep aids. They can cause more problems than the insomnia. Now, not enough sleep or going to bed after 10 o'clock at night leads to weight gain. A lack of sleep raises risk of catching a cold. A lack of sleep causes children to do poorly in school. Also, going to bed after 8 o'clock for young children can cause poor test scores. Young children should really be in bed several hours before their parents, and parents should be in bed no later than 9. Now, I know that's difficult to put them in bed several hours before, but 8 o'clock is really a good time to put your young child to bed. Now, who needs rest? Well, first, the sick need rest. We're told in Second Selected Messages, page 458, paragraph 2, the sick are taxed with too many visitors and callers who chat with them and weary them by introducing different topics of conversation when they need quiet and undisturbed rest. Even if you have a loved one in the hospital, they don't need a lot of visitors. They need to get their rest and get well. And they can be told later on, I didn't come to see you because I wanted you to get your rest, and tell them about this quote. Children need more frequent change of intervals rest than grown persons do. We're told in Adventist Home, page 289, paragraph 2. Gospel workers need rest. Desire of Ages, page 360, paragraph 2. Nurses need rest. Ministry of Healing, page 220, paragraph 1. Overworked persons need rest. Gospel workers, 243 to 246. Aged ministers, Second Selected Messages, 226, paragraph 2. Bible workers, Evangelism, 494, paragraph 1. Again in Evangelism, same page, women workers. And then sanitarium workers, Councils on Health, page 314 to 315. Those with tired nerves, Ministry of Healing, 326 to 327. Persons engaged in constant mental labor, Councils on Health, page 563, paragraph 2 to 564, the top of the page. And the last one is physicians, Councils on Health, page 361, paragraph 5. Those who do not labor have no need for rest, we're told in Gospel Workers, page 246, paragraph 1. Remember, James White suffered tremendously from not resting his mind enough. And we're told that in First Testimonies, page 519, paragraphs 1 and 2. We should not sacrifice our rest for amusements either. We're told in ML, page 143, paragraph 5, the majority of pleasure lovers attend the fashionable night gatherings and spend in exciting amusements the hours God has given them for quiet rest and sleep in order to invigorate the body. Would it not be better, therefore, to break up this habit of turning night into day and the fresh hours of morning into night? Okay, now proper periods of sleep and rest are essential to our body and our mind. Proper periods of rest and sleep and an abundance of physical exercise are essential to health of body and mind. To rob nature of her hours for rest and recuperation by allowing one man to do the work of 4 or 3 or even 2 will result in irreparable loss. 7 Testimonies 247, paragraph 1. Now, what does medical science say about sleep? Well, getting less than 6 hours of sleep doubles a person's chance of anxiety, chest pains, coronary artery disease, depression, diabetes, exhaustion, genetics altered, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor concentration, strokes, weight gain, and much more. Getting 9 or more hours of sleep triples a person's chances of all of those things I mentioned. Excessive sleep is a sin, we're told, in Counsels on Diet and Food, page 44, paragraph 1. A person needs to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. That is an adult person. And there's several links for that, which you will be getting. Now, what should you do if you cannot get to sleep? Well, one thing that's very important is to go sit in the sun every morning from 8 to 9. We need that vitamin D, and in order to get that vitamin D, we have to be outside in the sun. Also, herbs such as passion flower and hops are very effective, but be sure to consult your physician first in case they would interfere with any medication or any health issues you might have. As a matter of fact, some people have made pillows and they use the hops as the stuffing instead of the cotton. This is known to be very helpful for many people. That way, you're not ingesting it, you're just inhaling it. Another thing you can do is to drink hops tea. Hop tea will induce sleep, we're told, in Second Selected Messages, page 297, paragraph 5. 1.5 teaspoons of hops in a coffee cup, then pour boiling water on top and steep it for 20 minutes. Then you can strain it and drink it, or just drink it like it is if you don't mind the herb in there. Another thing to help you to go to sleep is to walk an hour every day. Go outside and walk in the sunshine in the morning. Another thing that's very important is to pray. The next thing is to soak in warm water for 30 minutes. Not hot water, just warm. Take a neutral bath with the water temperature between 94 and 97 degrees. Then you can eat your last meal at least 4 hours before bedtime and make sure that it's the lightest meal of the day. Like we're counseled, if we eat a third meal, it's supposed to be a grain and a fruit, like toast with fruit or popcorn and fruit or granola without nuts, because nuts is a protein and you don't want nuts or vegetables or any kind of fat in the evening meal. So any kind of grain and some fresh fruit. And don't watch TV or be on the internet right before bedtime if you can't go to sleep. Turn your alarm clock facing away from you, as I mentioned earlier, especially if it has a red light on it, as that interferes with proper sleep. Now, how about you get to sleep, but you can't stay asleep? Then what do? Well, again, you sit in the sun from 4 to 5 p.m., not in the morning, but in the afternoon. The spring and summer months, of course, would be earlier. And then sunshine, what that does is it helps with the serotonin levels, which help build melatonin levels at the proper time. And there will be a couple links that you can go to for that as well. Now, what about napping? Regarding, where you take a nap or close your eyes for a little bit. Who needs to take naps? Well, first of all, the elderly do. We're told in Second Selected Messages, page 230, paragraphs 3 and 4, I urge you not to work above that which you are able to do. You should have less constant taxing labor that you may be able to keep yourself in a rested condition. You should take a sleep in the daytime, which is a nap. You can then think more readily and your thoughts will be more clear and your words more convincing. Okay, number 2, who needs a nap? Young children. Children need more frequent change of intervals of rest than grown persons do, we're told in Adventist Home, page 289, paragraph 2. Number 3, those that need a nap are those that are sick. We're told in Second Selected Messages, page 458, paragraph 2, the sick are taxed with too many visitors and callers who chat with them and worry them by introducing different topics of conversation when they need quiet and undisturbed rest. Okay, number 4, nurses, Ministry of Healing, page 220, paragraph 1. Number 5, overworked persons, gospel workers, page 243 to 246. Aged ministers, Second Selected Messages, 226, paragraph 2. Bible workers and women workers in Evangelism, 494. Sanitarium workers, Councils on Health, page 314 to 315. Those with tired nerves, Ministry of Healing, 326 and 327. Persons engaged in constant mental labor, Councils on Health, page 563, paragraph 2. Physicians, Councils on Health, 361, paragraph 5. And Gospel Workers, Desire of Ages, page 362. Page 360, paragraph 2. Now, in John 11, when the disciples thought Jesus was referring to literal rest, when they heard that Lazarus was ill, they said he would get well. This was because they knew how important rest was for the sick. And this is a time, especially those recovering from surgery or those who have cancer, it's a time where their rest should be undisturbed and their room should be very quiet. Now, another reason you can take a nap is to help re-energize. We're told in the Review and Herald, February 20, 1866, paragraph 9 says, "My husband laid down upon a bench in the depot and slept about 15 minutes, which relieved his weariness in a measure." It's funny because growing up with my grandma, she always used to say, "I need 40 winks," and she just meant a little short nap, and that's what she would do. She would sleep for about 15, 20 minutes maybe, and she would wake up and she would feel just refreshed, like she had a full night's sleep. Now, I was never able to do that myself, just fall asleep for 15 minutes, but I've heard of other people doing it, and they say it's great. Now, if you have to speak in the evening, we're told to get some rest. In Review and Herald, February 20, 1866, paragraph 9, it says, "We rode about 7 miles to Brother Gurney's and obtained some rest and sleep to prepare us to attend the evening appointment." Now, also, do not sacrifice sleep in pursuit of money. We're told in Temperance, page 140, paragraph 3, one of the most fruitful sources of shattered constitutions among men is a devotion to the getting of money. They narrow their lives to the single pursuit of money, sacrificing rest and sleep. Their naturally good constitutions are broken down. Disease sets in as a consequence of the abuse of their physical powers, and death closes the scene of a perverted life. That's a very powerful quote. Don't sacrifice sleep for amusements. The majority of pleasure lovers attend the fashionable night gatherings and spend in exciting amusements the hours has given them for quiet rest and sleep in order to invigorate the body. Now that's ML, page 143, paragraph 5/4 through 6. Now, proper periods of rest and sleep are essential to our body and also our mind. In Testimonies, volume 7, page 247 says, "Proper periods of sleep and rest and abundance of physical exercise are essential to health of body and mind. To rob nature of her hours for rest and recuperation by allowing man to do the work of 4 or 3 or even 2 will result in irreparable loss." I know I mentioned this quote before, but I'm repeating a couple things because they're very important. Now, one reason the Sabbath is given to us is to give us rest, to refresh our bodies and our minds, and of course to spend time with our Creator. Now, we're told in PHO 43, page 39, paragraph 1, God instituted the Sabbath as a day of rest to repair nature's exhausted energies. No mind can continue day after day without cessation, either in business, which taxes the mental powers, or in the acquirement of knowledge without injury. Now here's some more facts about rest and sleep. Babies need fresh air while they're sleeping. Many people close up their rooms at night or during the day and all day long keep their houses closed up, but we need fresh air. Ministry of Healing, page 381, paragraph 2. Something else that's very dangerous and harmful is covering a baby's head during sleep. Ministry of Healing, page 381, paragraph 2, and Second Selected Messages, 465, paragraph 2. And you know, that rings a bell because just the other day, I was on the news app and I was reading about a baby who died from their head being covered while they were sleeping. So sad. I felt so sorry for that family. Another fact about rest and sleep is children and youth should not be permitted to sleep in. We're told in Counsels on Health, page 187, paragraph 2, and ML 143, paragraph 3, and also Proverbs chapter 6, verse 9. Nature is given time to repair during sleep, MM, page 80, paragraph 3. Sleep, nature's sweet restorer, invigorates the weary body and prepares it for the next day's duties. Counsels on Health, 147, paragraph 2. God watches over his people when they are asleep at night. SC, page 85, paragraph 4. Now, angels are unseen visitors in the sleeping room. Counsels on Health, page 417, paragraph 1. And then do not sacrifice sleep for amusements, like I mentioned earlier. ML 143, paragraph 5. Don't sacrifice sleep for earning money. Temperance 140, paragraph 3. And the labor of the day should not be prolonged into the evening. Temperance 140, paragraph 1. God's people labor too hard without allowing themselves periods of change and rest. Adventist Home 494, paragraph 1. Care needs to be exercised in regard to the regulation of hours for sleeping and laboring. We must take periods of rest, periods of recreation, and periods for contemplation. The principles of temperance have a wider range than many think. Adventist Home, page 494, paragraph 4. Now, there are benefits from rising early. 6 Testimonies 188, paragraph 1. Proper periods of sleep and rest are essential for health of body and health of mind. The sick need undisturbed rest. Second Selected Messages, page 458, paragraph 2. A good respiration induces good sound sleep. Ministry of Healing, 272, paragraph 1. Fresh air induces sound, sweet sleep. First Testimonies 702, paragraph 2. Do not sleep in ill-ventilated rooms. Second Testimonies 527, paragraph 3, and Counsels on Health 57, paragraph 1. Digestive organs should be resting during sleeping hours. Counsels on Health, page 118, paragraph 3. Sleeping rooms should be large. Counsels on Health, page 57, paragraph 4. Sleeping rooms especially should be well ventilated and the atmosphere made healthy by light and air. Second Selected Messages, 462, paragraph 3. Now, note, though time is short and there's a great work to be done, the Lord is not pleased to have us so prolong our seasons of activity that there will not be time for periods of rest, for the study of Bible and for communion with God. ML 133, paragraph 2. Then Medical Ministry, page 223, says, study and teach laws of preventative medicine. There is now positive need to interestingly instruct those who look to them for medical skill to ascertain the cause of their infirmities. They should call their attention in a special manner to the laws which God has established, which cannot be violated with impunity. They dwell much on the working of disease, but do not, as a general rule, arouse the attention to the laws which must be sacredly and intelligently obeyed to prevent disease. Now, here's some additional quotes on proper rest and sleep. Even light physical activity can help you sleep better at night. Missing out on sleep can promote Alzheimer's disease. rising at 3 o'clock in the morning and writing from 6 to 15 pages before breakfast is what Sister White did in LS 267, paragraph 4. She said she also rose in the morning at 2, 3, and even 4 o'clock to do her writing, and that's in 3 Selected Messages, page 118, paragraph 1. And then one more quote is Counsels on Health, page 370, paragraph 2 says, if our medical missionary workers would follow the great physician's prescription for obtaining rest, a healing current of peace would flow through their souls. Well, that's our time for today, and I hope that what you've heard on here will be a blessing to you and your family. And until we meet again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. Remember, God loves you and He wants you to be in health. 3 John, verse 2.